Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. We have a big historical event we want to lead with, which is this. This is the Battle of Tours. This was the great battle where Charles the Hammer Martel, the Frank King, beat the Muslims, and it was huge in history. This is one of the biggest dates in history. This stopped the Muslims from taking over Europe. Plain and simple. How you like that? All right, Hurricane Milton hit, and thank goodness, despite all the devastation, despite all the flooding, despite all the damage, thank God it went down to a Category 3 when it hit, and then to a 2 and a 1. Now, the devastation, the water damage is unbelievable, but I think the damage to structures would have been much greater. The one thing that blows me away, it would scare the hell out of me, is the electricity all down. Like, I'd be careful. I'd be scared to death of getting electrocuted accidentally. But this was not as bad as it could have been, as bad as it is. All right, Donald Trump, they tried to make it look like Trump wasn't doing anything. Well, Trump's allowing 275 linemen stay for free at his Doral resort. Take that. Trump's going to host a big old shebang at Madison Square Garden closer to the election day. Holds 20,000 people. He'll, of course, sell it out, and there'll be people waiting in line. You can't make this up. Harris has raised $1 billion. $1 billion. Where's all the money going? Who's getting all this money? Guess what? You can only buy up so much television. I guarantee you these teams have already bought up everything they can buy up. So it's going to be interesting what happens to the $1 billion. My guess is buying votes. University of Kansas professor is caught on tape saying all men that don't vote for Kamala Harris should be lined up and shot. I would hope that he is fired today. Okay, they've busted an Afghan man, can't make it up, Afghan origin. He worked in CIA security, plotting for an election day terrorist attack. What did I say? I've told you since Obama years that the infiltration of our country into CIA, FBI, security, defense, because ever since Obama, it's been like, oh, we don't want to question your background. Oh, you're a Muslim. You can work in the state. That's what's going on. Fox wants to hold a debate. Trump says, I'm not debating anymore. Why should he? He's rolling. Interviews. You've had Trump and Vance do hundreds of interviews. Kamala Harris and Waltz are up to like 30, I think now. All of them friendly. Lieutenant Dan, you see what Lieutenant Dan said? He was no longer going to fight the storm if a woman would stay with him. Good job, Dan. Way to score. Mexican mayors are being murdered. 4 more Mexican mayors are saying we need heightened security. Can you imagine? That's the country that we're letting the same cartels killing the Mexican mayors. We're letting them in our country. Alan Dershowitz is going to sue a Muslim who he debated on Piers Morgan, who called him an old pervert. Remember, that woman retracted, said she was wrong about Dershowitz. He was innocent. Kamala, when asked by Colbert, what are you going to do different? She goes, well, I'm not Biden and I'm not Trump. Empty suit, and the voters are figuring it out. Polls all show Trump moving in the swing states. It's the right time, about 25 days out about. It's the right time to be moving. And a whistleblower, according to Hawley, says the Secret Service is not protecting Trump properly, despite it all. Do not be a ruddish, impudent strumpet. Shakespeare insult today. Coming up next, local news. All right, in local news, we got some good stuff. When I say good stuff, I mean news worth hearing. The judge killer, the sheriff, guess what he says? His lawyer says they're going to plead, that they want to argue heat of passion manslaughter. Remember, it all had to do with the sheriff's daughter's cell phone number being in that phone. There's something going on relative to that daughter. Heat of the moment. It's going to be interesting. TikTok's been sued by the Kentucky Attorney General Russell Colvin and about 14 other attorney generals, saying TikTok's preying upon youth. Go get them, guys. Bill Young, who has been a very successful businessman out of Northern Kentucky, hit the big time with casinos. Had to get out of the casino business because the unions went after him. But it's been a very successful hotel operator, resort operator. Has donated $10 million to St. Elizabeth Medical Center Cancer Unit. I respect the Young family. Ryle softball coach. They got a new one. David Mayer. They've been without a softball coach apparently like for a month, and they finally got one. I've heard rumblings that this isn't the best choice, but we'll see what happens. Northern Kentucky superintendents, school superintendents say, vote no on Amendment 2. Remember, this is school choice. Guess what? The Catholic Church has put out in the messenger, vote yes. All the Catholics are being told vote yes. Why? Their schools can get some money. All right, early voting in Ohio started Tuesday. Get out there and vote. Coming up next, World News. Ladies and gentlemen, American Nigerian Bulldog Nation, I'm doing World News for Jamie Spinley today. Here's your headlines. A Turkish Airlines pilot, Captain İlsin Pelevin, 59, passed away after becoming ill during a flight from Seattle to Istanbul. Mid-flight, Captain Pelevin collapsed, and the second pilot, along with the co-pilot, took over the controls. Despite attempts to administer first aid on board, he died before an emergency landing could be made, according to the airline spokesperson Yahya Ustan. Lily Ebert, one of the last survivors of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp, has died at the age of 100. Miss Ebert, who was 20 when she was sent to the camp from her hometown in Hungary, experienced the tragic loss of her mother, younger sister, and brother, who were killed in Nazi gas chambers. Her great-grandson, Dolph Foreman, announced her passing, noting that she died peacefully at home, surrounded by her family. As Israeli troops and tanks encircle Kamal Adwan Hospital in the Jabalia refugee camp, Palestinian medics have started relocating premature babies and other vulnerable patients to safer locations. This comes as the Israeli military conducts a ground operation in the area, claiming it is aimed at dismantling Hamas fighters regrouping for potential attacks. This is Eric Deters for World News. Up next, sports. All right, here's Sports Without Boundaries. Got a lot of good stuff for you. The 49ers play the Seahawks tonight in the Thursday night NFL game. And baseball playoffs, lots going on. The Yankees beat the Royals 3-2. They take a 2-1 lead. They can close it out today. The Dodgers 8, the Padres 0. That's tied 2-2. Game 5's tonight. Mets 4, Phillies 1. The Mets have knocked out the Phillies again. The Phillies go home. Tigers 3, Guardians 0. Game 5 again is tonight. The Reds got some good news. Scott McLean is playing in the Arizona Fall League. Had 3 hits yesterday, including a homer. Let's get McLean back. No one spoke about this year. Cracks me, nobody talked about this. McLean was out the entire year. He was their best player in 2023. You don't think that made a difference in what happened this year? Get Scott McLean back. Let's see what Francona can do. Coming up next, pop culture. All right, pop culture. Billy Joel apparently leaves a lot of the front row empty and then goes and gets some of the people in the worst seats and brings them up front, costing him $20,000 a concert, but good for Billy Joel. That's pretty good. Riley Keough was on Oprah Winfrey talking about the memoir that she used, Lisa Marie Presley, her mom's words. Sad stuff there. Lisa Marie Presley kept the body of her son Thomas on ice for 2 months after he died. I mean, that's some sad grief. She thought it would cost her mom her life, and of course it did. P. Diddy. Biebs apparently has disappeared, is not talking, is underground, doesn't want to say anything about the subject. Can you imagine the embarrassment that Biebs is going to have thanks to Diddy? Oh, my God. And Garth Brooks, he's fighting back, but it looks bad. This former I do not believe, just so you know, Garth Brooks raped anybody. I don't believe that at all. Maybe there was a little smoke, but I don't think there was a whole bunch of fire. But bottom line is they're going full tilt. Garth Brooks versus a former makeup artist. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.